Hello, my doves. So today I wanted to tell you more about me in the present day. I am 24 years old now. I live with the love of my life and 4 awesome cats, which you'll probably see running around or lounging beside me. I do work 40 hours in retail. I look forward to returning back to college shortly, and I have some amazing friends in my life, which I'll tell you about later. I have just gotten back into WoW. I love Doctor Who. My favorite book series is the Wheel of Time series. My favorite director, producer, person is Tim Burton, and then my second one is Guillermo del Toro. I know I said that wrong. It's fine. I enjoy cooking, crafts, reading, my cats. I do love the sun. I love hanging out with my friends and family. I do have PTSD, RTS, anxiety, and depression. For those of you who don't know, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes. And then RTS is rape trauma syndrome. I am doing everything in my power to live with those and to lessen them. Of course, some days are harder than others, but they have become such, so few and far between that it isn't as bad as it used to be. I don't take any medication for those simply because I did go to therapy, and my therapist and I agreed that I didn't need the medication, but it's not because I, think badly of medication or anything like that. It's just that I wasn't in the extreme to need the medication. I did go to therapy quite frequently, and then I got to the point where she broke up with me, and that's fine. So a couple of months ago, So a couple of months ago, I got into a little trouble at work. I was put on a probation, which meant that I couldn't work in the department that I was in, and I had to work in a different department. It's fine. It happens. I'm not upset about it. I'm only on probation for like 6 months, and then thank God I can go back to my original department, which, yeah, that's awesome. So I have been working in a department that I completely loathe, but if I'm being completely honest with myself, I would loathe any other department that I was in other than the one that I was in previously, that I had been in for 6 years. But so due to the department that I'm in and the attitude that I have to have in the role, it led me to having a couple of dark days last week. I have never ever just laid in bed and not want to get out, not want to do anything, which I think is completely, it's totally okay to feel that way, and you should feel how you feel, and you have every right to feel your emotions, but that just wasn't me, and that's not who I wanted to be. My stepfather took my childhood and 11 years from not only myself but also my family, so I never wanted to give him any more than that. He's gone now, and I have every right to live my life the way that I want to, and just laying in bed being upset about things was not how I wanted to do it. So that was never me, but I did that for a whole day last week, and it was miserable. It was just awful. I felt exhausted. I felt completely drained. I had no energy to get up and do anything. I only got up the entire day to feed and water the cats and take care of them. And then I went straight to bed, and it was terrible. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, you have every right to feel your emotions, and it's just sometimes things are too hard for you to deal with, and that's okay, but that just wasn't who I wanted to be. And so I was very angry that I had managed to overcome all of these things, but this one thing was just draining me and making me this person I didn't want to be. So, luckily for me, I do live with the love of my life, and he understands he understands me for everything that I am and for all that I do. So one thing that I do with dealing with things and with a way to cope with things is that I allow myself a certain period of time to feel a certain way. So if I'm upset or sad or stressed or depressed or whatever, I allow myself, say, 30 minutes to feel that way. And then once the 30 minutes is up, it's time for me to get back to reality and to do what I need to do and to live my life. Again, that's because I'm just so infuriated with the fact that somebody stole my childhood as well as 11 years from myself and my family, and I just cannot fathom giving them any more of my time. So So knowing this, my dearest allowed me to stay in bed the one day to feel my deepest, darkest feels, and then, of course, I had to get up and face the world. I cannot say that I would have stayed in bed longer than that day. I don't think that I would have. It definitely was tempting after the first day of just staying in bed and not doing anything and letting the world go on without you. But I definitely appreciated that I didn't have to do it alone, that I had somebody to help make it easier to get out of bed and to do what I needed to do. And then knowing that I'm not alone in this fight has definitely been very helpful, not only with my love, but with also all the friends that I have. I can't tell you how many of them have, kept me from being a darker person, I guess, than the person that I am today. And we'll get into that in like the next episode, I assume. And we'll talk about all that good stuff. But it definitely made it easier to know that I wasn't alone. So currently, I'm about to embark on a whole new adventure with the company that I work for. I have been working with the company for 6 years, almost 6.5 years. It's definitely a wonderful company to work for. I won't get into too much detail about where it is that I work and where it is that I live and all that jazz, not just yet. But so I had applied for this new position, and I was blessed enough and quite honestly awesome enough to get offered the job. So I start that in like a week or so, and I'm super excited. Like I'm so excited for it. I mean, yes, retail is just horrible sometimes. I mean, let's be honest. The hours suck, and sometimes the customers suck. Like sometimes they do. To be honest, I don't know if y'all shop, well, obviously you shop retail because, you're human, but you should just really be nicer to people who work in retail, because you never know what they're going on or doing in their life. Case in point, me. But, it is what it is, and people tend to pick on people when they're not feeling their best, and that's okay. Like, I understand. But, the people that I meet doing my job, and then the people that I work with, you meet so many different people, and, not all customers are terrible. Like, we have our wonderful regulars. Like, I have 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that just literally make my day. Once they're in the store, it just makes my day, and it's awesome. So that's me present day. 24, retail worker, cats, nerd, whatever, and that, like, I love who I am now. I definitely did not think that this was going to be me when I was in the past. Obviously, I didn't really see a future for myself, but I can say that I'm turning into the person that I definitely want to be and that I've always wanted to be, and that is thanks to not only myself, but also, my therapist, my friends, my love. Like, it's just, I was really blessed. Like, I can't say that everybody ends up this way or ends up turning out like this after such a terrible thing happened to them. But I will say that I was completely blessed, and I have had to work for it. Everything wasn't handed to me, as you'll see in other videos whenever I talk about things. But I've come a long way from where I was, and I deserve to feel proud about that. And I feel like, and hopefully sharing my story will also show other people that they can overcome, and that they can have the life that they always wanted, and be as blessed as I am, and just be the person that they wanted to be, because what happened to them was a part of their story, but that's not their whole story. And I just want you and them and people to know that just because something bad happened to you, it doesn't have to be your entire life. So I hope that this story helped you see that there's future out there, and that you're not alone, and that the darkness does not last forever, and that even though things do get better and you overcome what you have been going through, or what you're going through, or what you went through, you may still have to deal with it from time to time, and that's totally okay. You may not like it. It may make you more angry in the long run that you have to still deal with it than actually dealing with it, but that's totally okay. And you are allowed to feel how you feel. That is like the famous quote of these wonderful people who saved my life, but you are allowed to feel how you feel, and I fully believe that sentence. And I know that I had dealt with this for a long time, and it's definitely better than it was for me, but it is, obviously, it's still there. I didn't think that it would, you know, eventually go away, but this is, I can say that I hope that it eventually goes away. I don't know if it will or not, we'll see, but hopefully it will. So until next time, I will have to bid you adieu, my doves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.